Welcome to the Doc G Show, a radio show cluster. Without further ado, critics have said he has the face for radio and a voice for silent films. Your host, Ben Doc G Gordon.
And we are on the air. Welcome to Doc G Show. I'm your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus El Padre Charette.
Doc G, what is up, sir?
Woo!
How are you?
My gosh, the world is crazy, Mike.
Yeah, it is.
The world is, I'm good, but the world is crazy.
Same.
You know?
Yeah.
You know? It's, my goodness. There's all kinds of things. Don't even get me started about here in the United States, but then there's all kinds of other scary stuff going on.
Yeah.
You know? There's India and Pakistan. Guys, get along. Just get along, guys.
Ugh.
What are you doing? Anyway, look at how crazy we are. We don't need you falling into disarray, too. Good Lord.
Yeah. We don't need any more of that.
You know what you guys need
Let's
to
get along.
do? Listen to the Doc G Show.
Yeah,
That's
they
what you
do.
need to do. Just listen
Yeah.
in, guys. Yes! And you know what settles me, Mike? HGTV.
Mm-hmm.
Settles me.
Yeah.
It's lovely, Mike. We've
It
talked
is.
about it on the show before.
We have.
You know, I like watching HGTV because
Very therapeutic.
every now and then, I like a little home and garden in my life.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a little home and garden television.
That's right.
Simple stuff.
Which, thinking out loud, Mike, I gotta say they're a little light on the garden. I could use more garden programming.
So true.
Just a guy out there being like, these azaleas are coming in nice.
That would be nice. Yeah.
You know, that was listeners. That was my sound effect for tilling the soil.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know what you were doing there.
That was it. I wasn't hocking up a loogie, in case you were wondering.
I thought you were watering other bushes while
I
you were
could,
admiring the azaleas.
There we go.
That's not a great watering sound, but, whatever.
Oh God, it's rusty water. Watch out. Listeners, I will work on my gardening sound effects. I'm sorry. I'm going to come to you. I'm writing it down. Previously on the Doc G Show, we're going to have all new sound effects. All new sound effects. Mike, I was watching the other night Love It or List It. Do you ever watch Love It or List It?
No, but it sounds like something I'd be into.
Have you haven't heard of it?
It sounds familiar, but no. What is it?
Let me break it down for you and the listener. The show, Love It or List It, you have a realtor named David. And it used to have this sassy British lady who was a home renovator. Her name was Hillary. Hillary retired from the show, or maybe like she wanted more money and they weren't going to bring her on for more money. Something. She was not brought on again this new season, Mike. They have replaced Hillary with another sassy home renovator named Paige. But sadly, Paige is not British, so I don't know if I can accept her renovation advice or not. I haven't decided.
Nope.
But the plot is the same every time, Mike. The show starts with a couple that has been living together for a bunch of years. One person in the couple wants to buy a new house, and the other person wants to stay in the house that they've been in for the, however long they've been in the relationship. And David, the realtor, tries to find them a new house. And Paige, the renovator, renovates their old house. And then at the end, they love it, Mike, or they list it, as in they sell the property. Now,
Gotcha.
of course, Mike, how do you think the show ends? Happy.
Yeah,
The
for sure.
the show ends happy. Regardless, if they decide to love it or list it, they end up happy. Now, how many times, which one do you think they do more, Mike? Do you think they love it or they list it more?
Ooh. Creatures of habit, creatures of comfort. I think they stay in their houses more often than not.
You're right. You're very right,
Yeah.
Mike. Loving it happens much, much more often. Very few people list it. It's a very low occurrence. David rarely gets to celebrate a sale. He does not get to celebrate a victory. Now, often in the middle of the show, actually always, pretty much always in the middle of the show, there's a money problem that pops up, Mike.
Yes, of course.
There's something they didn't account for. There's mold in the drywall. They need a HVAC system because the old one doesn't meet standard code. One of these. Now, this is the show drama, of course. Nobody knows. Are they going to be able to complete the project? What are they going to do?
Word.
And then, magically, they get the money they need. The house gets completed. It looks better than they thought it was going to ever look. They're super happy with it. And nobody ever brings up the problem again.
Yeah.
And as I already said, I like the show, Mike. It's a good feel. You go out of it being like, nice. Yeah, that's great. But what if HGTV wanted to turn towards some drama, Mike? What if they wanted to make this a little bit more reality, I started thinking, what if when they have the money problem in the middle of the show, couple can't seem to come up with a solution, they don't have any money for the repair, their house gets evicted, they have to quit their jobs, they have to move across town, everything falls apart, they put their kids up for adoption. I don't know why that would be, but everything in their life it tatters, Mike. Tatters,
Jeez.
That would be HGTV drama,
Yeah. We do need more of that.
Just a curveball. Every now and then you're ready for that feel-good moment, and then it's like, no, this couple died.
What?
They were literally murdered after this show, and you're like, just to keep the the suspense up, Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
You really don't know what's going to happen. You got to throw in the real. We don't want to be the boy who cried wolf on every show. Nobody's going to believe it. The drama's not going to be sold when they're like, oh, we got to get into an HVAC system. You'll be like, who cares? They're going to figure it out. But if you watch one show where the person needs an HVAC system and then they get murdered the next show, you're going to be like, oh my God, an HVAC system again? They need to get this thing solved quick. Like,
and then Naked and Afraid is like taking notes. They're like, wait, maybe we should let these people die.
Exactly. You got to make it a little bit more intense.
That's why Cheaters was such a good show, because like sometimes people would die.
Wait, what?
Wait, actually, no. I don't think people died on Cheaters.
Mike, you are
maybe it was the Predator show that guy died on the Predator show.
Are you talking about How to Catch a Predator?
Yeah, the Chris Hansen one.
Oh God, what a classic show!
This show's getting dark.
My gosh, but the best part, listeners, we're pulling something out. When did How to Catch a Predator stop airing? That was a long time ago.
It's still technically going on to this day, but maybe it's just not on TV anymore.
2007 was the last time, Mike.
Wow, I didn't think it was like it went away that long ago.
2007, listeners, if you are a young buck and you have no idea what How to Catch a Predator is, and you were right, it was canceled because somebody committed suicide after they were caught on there. So there you go. Go. But oh my gosh, the best.
So much for that love it or leave it show.
Love it or list it, Mike. Come on,
love
now.
it or list it. Oh gosh.
Come on, don't worry. You're getting a quiz on Wagyu later. Listeners, that's from last show. Regardless, listeners, if you're a young buck and you haven't watched Catch a Predator, oh man, here's what happens. There's a bunch of pervs that are trying to get with kids that are not yet 18 on the show, and instead of actually getting with a child, Chris Hansen, who is a reporter, would just jump out of a closet and go, excuse me, what are you doing here? What's going on here? And it's hilarious.
The guy would be like naked.
Yeah, and then I'm actually getting just looking for a CVS. Is there a CVS somewhere around here? Yeah, just the worst excuses you've ever seen. But Mike, I got completely derailed. The point is every now and then you need a little drama, you know? So every now and then on this show, we may just throw in some drama. Mm-hmm. You never know when it could come in, Mike. Now, are there going to be any HVAC replacements on this show? No. There will not be any HVAC replacements. But could there be some drama-filled gardening in this show? Yes. With sound effects, listeners.
Yeah.
Mike, are you ready to fire up this drama-filled gardening show?
Let's fire up the show, Doc G.
All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
We have a fantastic show. We have the one, the only Miss Talia Keys.
That's right.
Fantastic artist out of Utah, Mike. Just a couple of weeks back, she played at the Bernie Sanders rally.
That's cool.
Fight the Oligarchy rally. One of the biggest concerts she's ever performed. Over 20,000 people packed into that arena.
Nice.
That had to be some intense performance right there, Mike.
Yeah.
In Salt Lake City, nonetheless. It's crazy. It's crazy. When I did the interview, she had not yet performed the rally. So we talked about the potential. But spoiler alert, Mike, she really enjoyed it. It was a great performance. So there you go.
Cool.
Can't wait to talk to her, Mike. But first, we need to start where we start.
Birthday suits.
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Birthday suit, Mike. I'm pretty confident about this one. 99.8%. Here we go.
0.8. All right.
The most well-known and well-paid YouTube creator who has started companies like Feastables and Lunchly.
Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast is correct. There we go. Happy birthday. What's his actual name? Jimmy. Happy birthday, Jimmy. Born in Wichita, Kansas, Mike. Such a young buck. Done, even though, people think he's done so much, man. Yeah. He's only 98.
Yes.
Born in 98. Only 98. He's only 98 years old. It's a young, spry guy. No, he's only 27. Turning 27, man. He went to college. I don't know if you know this, for baseball, Mike.
No, I didn't know that.
Played baseball, dropped out before graduating, and then, as he put it, there was a 5-year period where he studied the YouTube algorithm. He would order Uber Eats and then sit on his computer all day just studying nonstop with other YouTubers, as he puts it. So his viral moment came when he posted a video of him counting to 100,000.
Word.
Which took around 40-some hours in a row. And then after that, he just got crazier and more epic and more epic. He currently has 391 million monthly subscribers.
It's insane.
It is bananas, Mike. I mean, I would say studying the algorithm worked pretty well for him. Apparently, he understands it pretty well.
It's just like, why does he have a show on Amazon? I that part doesn't. I'm like,
because it's still the appeal of having a show, Mike.
Okay, all right.
I
can see that.
Like, that's
all
the
right.
thing is,
Good point.
all the influencers out there, I would say the majority of them still have that old school appeal. Even though they are a part of the new school sort of streaming and own platform thing, they still have that old idea of like, oh, this is a TV show. Oh, this is something that somebody else is producing. It's why they all still flock to movie premieres and all of your award ceremonies. And it's like, what? Why? Like, you have 400 million people that follow you. Just put something out on there. It's way bigger than this award ceremony. Like, but it still has the clout. It's why the Met Gala and why the Oscars and all these things that don't mean anything, but people still post about them, talk about them, look at them, just like, And he's excited to have his own show.
There you go.
You know. But yeah, if I were advising him, sort of like yourself, I'd be like, dude, you got 400 million people watching your show. Who gives a that thing?
Yeah.
Put it on your own. Put it on your platform, bro. But regardless, he seems to be doing well. Definitely don't believe he's a billionaire, but he's doing really well, you know. And he seems to be just a go-getter. So keep getting the go, Jimmy. Do it, man.
Yeah, man.
Happy birthday. Mike, you ready to rip some headlines?
Let's rip some headlines, Doc G.
It's now time for Rip from the Headlines.
Mike, I've got a headline from GQ. Here's the headline. Why everyone is getting their tattoos removed.
What is the reason?
First, I'm going to say, seems like a blanket statement, Mike.
Yeah.
I looked at this is true. I looked into this after hearing the headline. Not everyone is getting their tattoos removed.
Really?
Yeah,
So they were wrong about everyone.
They were.
Oh.
That is incorrect. Pete Davidson is not synonymous with everyone.
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean, just look at Machine Gun Kelly. He decided to get rid of his old tattoos by blacking them out with more tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a messed up fill-in-the-blank question on an exam. You know what? Just going to scribble that out. There we go. But, Mike, I read the article, and honestly, it does seem like author Carrie Batan, I don't know how you say her last name. Basically, she concluded that since she and Pete Davidson got their tattoos removed, everyone is doing it. Because she literally does talk about Pete Davidson like 6 times in the article. And then she brings up, like, after going through all 10 pages of the article, then she brings up how in 2009 she got wacky and got a tattoo, and then she regretted it ever since, and then she got it removed.
Word.
And I was like, come on. Come
Yeah.
on. Now, I will point out, Mike, as she does in the article, more people are getting tattoos removed because more people are getting tattoos. Mm-hmm. They're much more prevalent.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Gotcha.
So, inevitably, if more people are getting them, more people are going to get them removed. It's like other things in the world that should be permanent that we get rid of, like marriages.
Yeah.
More marriages, more divorces.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how it works. I will say, too, at one point in the article, she's talking about the differences between, different generations and how it seems like Gen Z gets more tattoos removed. And she says in the article, quote, "These are the guys who remember the day when tattoos meant something. That you had to have been through a life experience worth memorializing for eternity."
Oh, yeah.
And first of all, Mike, I would argue tattoos have meant the same thing always, right? They haven't meant anything different at any point in time. They mean whatever the person wants them to mean. You can get them for a deceased relative's name who died of cancer, or you can get a pair of testicles tattooed on your forehead.
Ooh.
It's whatever you want to get.
Drama.
It's art, Mike.
Everybody,
It was-
Mike has testicles on his face.
It's your choice, man. It is your choice. Second, I'm pretty sure tattoos don't last for eternity, Mike.
Nope.
I mean, I haven't read any ancient scriptures that are like, and in the afterlife, you'll carry the Green Bay Packers logo you got tattooed on your shoulder for all of eternity. No, I'm pretty sure when you die, it's done so.
Yeah.
It's unless you're mummified, because they do bring that up in the article, how mummified.
Yeah, it is pretty wild.
persons are.
Mummies keep their tats.
And they still have those, Mike.
But, hey, Doc T, real quick, do they ever, I mean, when you get rid of a tattoo, when you get it removed, does it actually get removed? Because I feel like every time I see somebody with a removed quote-unquote tattoo, it's still there. I mean, it's very dim, but it's
well,
faded.
it depends on how many sessions you go through, Mike. It's multiple sessions.
So you can
It's
get enough
multiple-
sessions to where you're like, oh wow, I never had a tattoo ever.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, if you look at either Mark Wahlberg or Pete Davidson, both of them got their tattoos removed. You can't really see Pete Davidson's anymore. I mean, at least in the pictures that he recently took, I think he took them with Vogue or some magazine like that. You can't really see him anymore.
Okay, all right.
You know.
Interesting. Thanks, Doc J. I appreciate you clearing that up. What about the people who the weirdos who get the inside of their cheeks tattooed? Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. Well, those would you
can't get that
basically
removed.
No, you'll basically get rid of them in like a little bit. It's the same thing as getting your palm tattooed. Those because that skin replaces itself so fast, you get rid of those like in 5 years.
Oh, okay.
If you get a tattoo on your palm, it won't be there.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. That's why they want, I mean, generally tattoo artists that know anything or don't want to waste a person's time. Basically, you can see where the skin type changes on your hand into a different type of dermis there.
Yeah.
On the underside of your hand. They want, once it changes that skin type, they won't do a tattoo past that. Same thing on your feet. They won't do a tattoo past that point.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
But anywho, Mike, let me also say, if a person that thinks, oh man, I've got to get rid of this tattoo on me. Let's say you have an outline of the Keystone State on your shoulder blade, like the author of this article, and you keep thinking, I've got to get this thing lasered off. It's just so horrible. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter.
Nope.
It's all in your head. Sure, it might make you feel better for some odd reason, but nobody else in the world gives whether you have it or you don't. It doesn't make you look any better. It doesn't make you any healthier. And nobody gave 2 seconds of thought of whether you had it or you don't have it. And if they do care whether you have it or you don't have it, then they're a superficial person. So
Yeah.
who cares?
Who cares?
Like it's again, a tattoo is all on what you think it means. Like it just Mike, as a non-biased, non-tattooed fella, do you take stock in whether a person has a tattoo or not?
I mean, not really. I think tattoos look pretty cool. I see somebody else's tattoos, I'm like, I wonder if I should get a tattoo. You know, it always comes back to yourself, right?
Sure.
Anytime you see somebody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no. I
Yeah,
think,
no.
tattoos are
I
great.
mean, again, goes back, Mike, unless the person has testicles tattooed on their forehead, you're usually not being like, oh my God, is that a tattoo? Like,
yeah, I mean, you
know.
do see people with face tattoos, and you're like, that's a bold move.
That's a bold move.
one.
That's a little bit taboo still. That's
It's just your
that's
face,
getting up there.
You know,
It's
even when you get like, I think the neck tattoo behind the Justin Bieber behind the ear, you know, that whole line thing.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, you know, whatever. But when you get like the sides of your face tattooed, I don't know, that's pretty
Mike Tyson.
pretty wild.
Mike Tyson looking in your direction.
You know, Mike Tyson.
Mike.
I don't know why, but Mike Tyson's was kind of cool. His
has gotten a little faded over the years.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
It's definitely faded some, and I don't think it's because of laser. But anyways, Mike, moving on. It's time for a little Michael Jordan news.
Michael Jordan.
Yes.
The GOAT.
Yes. Here's a headline from Complex. Quote, former Bulls player recalls Michael Jordan hitting the bar before a game, still got 30 at half.
Word.
End quote. Yeah. Because he's Michael Jordan. He could have hit an opium den before the game and still hit 30. He could have been hit with a tranquilizer dart like Ace Ventura in the middle of the game and still hit 30. He's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, you know. But anyways, Mike, the former teammate was Craig Hodges, and he was talking about this, of course, on the very popular sports podcast, All the Smoke. And from what I could tell, He was saying this occurred in the 91-92 season before a game against the Miami Heat. He said that after shoot-around, they were on the bus, and MJ is like, quote, "Man, drop me off here." And they dropped him off at a bar, and he said he was going to have some beer. Then on the way back to the game, they picked him up at the same bar, and he got on the bus saying, "Yeah, man, I feel good." Now, Mike, I'm not doubting MJ got drunk before a game.
Nope.
Because he's obviously a huge fan of drinking. Just look at his eye color during the Last Dance documentary, and you know that. Those things are yellow. But Craig Hodges' story, the story, it's a little suspect, Mike. So you're telling me that Michael Jordan, at close to the height of his popularity, by far the most famous athlete in the world at the time, Michael Jordan, a 6'6", very, very recognizable figure, went into a public bar before a game that almost all the bar goers would know and be aware of, and he drank for over an hour before this game, and nobody in the bar mentioned this to, like, reporters? Nobody reached out to somebody and was like, "Hey, the most famous athlete in the world is in here getting drunk. That's weird." Like, I know this is before cell phones, Mike.
Yeah.
But if this actually occurred in a public bar, this would have been on Sports Illustrated the next week. Mm-hmm. It would have been out there. Like, you know, if this happened in 1992, there would have been 2,000 people at that bar at the end of the hour. Now, if he is saying that this happened in his first year with the Bulls back in 1998, that's a little more believable. But even then, Michael Jordan's still the league MVP at the time. And at a bare minimum, the people would have been like, "Who's that super tall giant in the corner drinking beers? Who's that dude?" I'm just saying, Mike, Craig Hodges' story is suspect. It's suspect, man. Now,
It is. I agree.
Would I agree? Again, would I agree that Jordan went to his hotel room and had a bunch of beers? Sure.
For sure.
That's very believable.
Mm-hmm. Smoking cigars.
A public bar? No. Yeah. No.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, it could have happened. I just feel like this is the first time we're hearing about it. I don't know, Mike. I mean, like, you know, if you watch the 30 for 30 about Michael Jordan playing baseball, like, that was the thing. He would go to the bar in Birmingham, and everyone in the city of Birmingham would know about it in 10 minutes. And, like, literally that place would be full, like 300 people just gawking at Jordan. Like, and you're telling me that's happening in Miami, and you're not going to get at least a small crowd in there? No. Nah. Suspect, Mike.
Yeah.
Suspect. Anyways, Mike, I've got a headline. You just brought him up. Got a headline about Jay Biebs.
Jay Biebs.
Yeah, this is from page 6, Mike. Quote, "Friends worried about Justin Bieber's money as he spends on private jets, fancy gifts, but hasn't worked in a really long time."
Word.
Mike, let me settle down any frightened listeners. Justin Bieber isn't going broke.
No way.
The guy's worth $300 million. He's not going broke on fancy gifts.
No way.
Kanye West is proof. Once you get super rich, you can do pretty much anything you want and not get rid of that money. It's very, 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 very hard. You have to work at it to go broke when you're $300 million up. I mean, like, I like how they're concerned about him not working in a long time, Mike. When you have $300 million, you don't have to work. You let the money work for you. It's called interest. He's making somewhere between $15 and $40 million doing jack shit a year if he's doing it right. Plus, Mike, he's got 300 million followers on Instagram. If he was going in the hole, he could do a couple of paid ads a week and make millions from it if he wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Justin Bieber isn't going broke anytime soon. And if he does, I'll say I was wrong. Because here's a very important part of this news, Mike. I don't really care if Justin Bieber's broke or not. But apparently these friends do, and which I do like, Mike. I guess these are like the conservative mooches that are like, guys, cut out the spending. I want to live off of this guy for the rest of my life, all right? We gotta make this last. Like, ridiculous, Mike. I'm not too. I like $300 million.
Yeah, I mean,
he sold his catalog.
It's wild how people don't understand how much money that is. Like, they just don't get it. Yeah,
no, like that's. I mean,
much
again,
money.
like he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a day.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to like doing nothing again.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to worry. Him ripping on a bong and buying people tickets to Coachella isn't going to do anything to his bottom line. Mike, we are going to take a break. We are going to be right back here on the Doc G Show. And we are back here on the Doc G Show. Spinnaker Radio, WSKRLP 95.5 FM in Jacksonville, Florida. Mike, what do the listeners need to do?
Well, Doc G, if the listeners feel like the show is a positive way to waste their time, they should please subscribe to the show wherever they consume their podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, Sirius, Pandora Plus, wherever you get your podcasts. And also, listeners, please leave us a 5-star review. It's a cost-effective way to support the show. Also, last thing, if you have a friend that has Spotify on their phone, please take their phone from them in a very gentle manner and search for the Doc G Show. Then follow the Doc G Show on their phone and then hand it back to them.
Amen. And tell them, hey, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
That's
You're
right.
welcome. Mike, the begonias are dying.
Oh, no.
That's a little gardening drama there for you. That was just thought I'd add it in there. Have you ever had? You know what a begonia is, Mike?
I'd probably recognize.
Do you
the
think
flower.
you could? Yeah. Do you think you could spot it out?
But no.
I could hit a begonia, the classic like pink purple begonia. I could hit it. That's one of the few that I could nail. If I saw it, I could definitely get it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty confident. Pretty confident in that one.
Spell begonia. But anyways, yeah, it's a pretty flower.
It's very nice, Mike.
So true.
Mike, now that we have just unleashed excitement onto our listeners, we need to thank the people that regularly listen to this ridiculousness we call a show. And Mike, we've got a good gang of the 5 stars. So here we go. Shout out to Puricai, Brazil, San Diego, California, Dublin, Ireland, Boardman, Oregon, Genoa, Italy, Richardson, Texas, Barcelona, Spain, Winfield, West Virginia, Biloxi, Mississippi, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Peoria, Illinois, Katy, Texas, Toms River, New Jersey, Olive Branch, Mississippi, Asheville, North Carolina, Los Angeles, California, Spartanburg, South Carolina, Athens, Georgia, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Chicago, Illinois, Boynton, Virginia, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Columbus, Ohio, Falkenstein, Germany, Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina, Radford, Virginia, Gainesville, Florida, Frankfurt, Germany, Fort Worth, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona, Anoka, Minnesota, and Ashburn, Virginia. Woohoo! There you go.
Nice.
That's pretty solid, Mike. You know?
Good job, man. That was great.
That was a pretty good return to not that bad of a reading. Okay, Mike, we've got some 4-star listeners here. Des Moines, Iowa. Shout out to Des Moines. Mike, this is the one probably I got the most excited about. Sholo, Arizona.
Oh, I like that.
You know Sholo?
No, but I like the name of the.
It's literally
city.
Show-Lo. Like it's show low. SHOW space low. WLOW.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Show-Lo.
And apparently, like, it came from a card game. That's where the name came from. Like, two guys owned this massive ranch, and they played cards to own the ranch solely. Whoever won the card game would win the ranch all out. And one of the guys was like, if you show low, then you win the whole hand. You win the ranch. And the guy got a 2 of clubs, the lowest card in the deck. And so he showed low. And that was the name, Show Low.
Cool.
Yeah. And
Cool,
apparently, it's actually contrary to the name, Mike. It's high up there. Show Low is at 6,500 feet.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's up there. High country, high desert, Mike.
Where is this
Very
place?
high desert. It's northeast of Phoenix. I would just guesstimate like 2 hours northeast of Phoenix. Somewhere like, might be a little bit longer than that, but yeah.
Cool. Show-Lo.
Yeah, Show Low. Next, Mike, Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Altoona.
Altoona, we're coming to you and previously on the
Oh
Doc
my
G
gosh.
Show in a little bit. Duluth, Minnesota, New Orleans, Louisiana, Portland, Oregon. Portland, 2 times. 2 more times. You're going to be on the regulars. Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Council Bluffs, Iowa, Houston, Texas, Sydney, Australia, Madison, Wisconsin, Indianapolis, Indiana, and lastly, Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. So, speaking of which, Mike, it's time for Previously on the Doc G Show.
Previously on the Doc G Show.
Previously on the Doc G Show.
Mike, last week, Altoona was on the... I don't know if it's Altoona or Altoona. What do you think? Do you think it's more Altoona?
Altoona.
It's AL, which would make me think Altoona, you know?
I know. Altoona it might be southern. That might be the southernness.
Yeah, Altoona is more proper. It's sort of like an aunt versus an aunt thing.
Word.
Yeah.
Altoona, get back to us. Let us know. Altoona,
Let us
Altoona.
know.
You know? Anywho, Mike, Altoona, we found out that, when I looked it up, pizza was what came up. And so I looked into this pizza, and it is weird, Mike. It is a very weird pizza. It originated from the Altoona Hotel, which I gotta say, it's weird, man. Hotels coming up with the food creations. Mm-hmm. It's like the old hot brown we talked about a while ago from Kentucky, from the Brown Hotel.
Yeah.
But anyways, this was developed back in the 1950s at the hotel, and no one knows why the ingredients were first used, like why they actually used those ingredients. But my guess would be it's all they had. Like somebody wanted some pizza.
Somebody was under the influence of some devil's lettuce.
Yeah, somebody wanted some pizza, and they were like, all right, we got salami. Can we put salami on there? Do that. So, Mike, the classic Altoona pizza is made of a thick, spongy dough, very Sicilian-like, also similar to focaccia bread. That's what it's got.
Oh, I love focaccia.
Yeah,
So,
there you go. And then you've got a tomato sauce, and then green bell peppers sliced. You get rings of them, right?
Right.
And then sliced salami. And on the top of that, probably the most frightening of the ingredients, American cheese. Just slices of American cheese, Mike. Girl, come on! And I love how, I read these articles, and, it'll be like somebody trying out the Altoona pizza, and they're like, surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. And you're like, yeah, it's pork and cheese. What's not to like of it? It's delicious bread, cheese, and pork. It's just weird that it's not a typical pizza, guys. It's an odd thing when you've got a weird American yellow cheese on the top of it. Like, it's just.
Here's why I like it, Doc G.
Okay.
Every bite is every bite you get every ingredient.
Okay.
I mean, a pizza, like a pepperoni pizza, it's like some bites you get a pepperoni, right? But this pizza, every bite you get every ingredient because
Well, if it's made right.
Yeah, true. The bell pepper is cut in such a way that every bite is a bell pepper bite. Every bite is obviously cheese and salami.
If you take really small bites, you can miss out on the bell pepper on the middle of it. You know?
All right.
I mean,
I
do
looked
see.
like the bell pepper was like proportional to the square that it was cut. So I don't know. It to me is like, oh, okay.
I do see what
see
you're
why people
saying,
like
but I
this.
mean, now I can see why you like the old Roni, the Roni pizza from Little Caesars, because you get so many pepperonis on there.
Yeah.
You get a
can't
pepperoni
miss.
on every bite.
Oh my
that's
gosh!
what
And
Mike's-
sometimes there's like 3 pepperonis in one pepperoni. It's amazing.
Oh my
Oh my
God,
gosh!
But yeah, Mike, here's the thing. I think your pizza Altoona is weird,
Oh,
but
man,
I would totally eat it.
yeah, we would.
You know, I mean, it's one of those things that, hey, I appreciate weird Altoona, but let it be known, it is obviously, it's weird, you know? But I was thinking about this too, Mike, because I always love, that's one of those things. I love, like, not to stereotype, but a lot of Italians that love Italian food, like, that's their favorite pastime, is hating things that aren't true Italian food. Like, it's like looking at something like this pizza and being like, oh, Jesus Christ, no. You are disgusting. That is the most disgusting thing ever. And it's like, dude, we're not saying this is coming from Rome. This is weird Altoona pizza, and it's still tasty, man. It's still tasty. That's a fact. You're just being too picky, man. Being too picky. Be a garbage disposal. Altoona, I'm a garbage disposal. I'll eat it. I love it.
Same as long as there's no mushrooms.
That's true. Mike will not go with Altoona pizza with mushrooms on it. We know that.
Pretty much a garbage disposal, except mushrooms. That'll break.
Don't worry.
That breaks the machine.
The disposal will keep going over here. Keep throwing them in. It doesn't matter. Mike, we are going to take a break. We are going to be right back here on the Doc G Show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We are super happy to be welcoming a fantastic artist who has her new album, From the Ashes, on vinyl, being released April 19th, and is going to be releasing it digitally May 30th. Miss Talia Keys. Talia, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. Can't complain. Now, I think the first thing, probably not the most important to everybody, but it's pretty important to me. How is Loretta James doing?
After my heart. He's talking about my kitten, baby. Yeah, she is doing so good. She's my therapy animal, and she just keeps life interesting. And yeah, she's our love of our house.
Nice.
Yeah.
And how long have you had her?
We got her right before Thanksgiving, so we kind of look at her as like the Thanksgiving gift, that keeps giving and giving and growing and climbing trees and, being a little kitty cat.
So she's like what, 8 months, 9
Yeah,
months?
she's about 8 months right now. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's shenanigans time right there.
Oh, total shenanigans. Climbing the blinds, like going crazy. She's not afraid of the drum set. Like, she's cool with all the noise in here. It's pretty awesome.
I would imagine your occupation, whatnot. She's very used to noise.
Yes, very used to it. And making it.
Well, now she looked like she's developing into like a pretty solid shoulder cat there for you.
She loves to just hang out here. That's her spot with me. It's like a little perch, and she doesn't like to face backwards. She has to face forward, and she's got to be in charge. But yeah, it was weird when she was a baby. I was just playing my guitar, and she crawled up there, and I'm like, "What is this?" And then I'm like, "Of course, gotta film it." But just because I wanted the memory for me. But yeah, she's it's really cool to have. I've had pets ever since I was a little kid, and I've always connected with animals and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, I mean, taking it back to you starting out, I heard drums. That's where it first started out.
Yep, definitely.
Age of 9.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, was that you, or did your mom who initiated that there?
Santa Claus initiated it. Santa Claus brought me a Sears drum set, all metal, right? And I was always drumming on things and humming things, and my mom listened to the best music growing up and going into Pink Floyd jams and Violent Femmes and all sorts of great Talking Heads. And so I grew up around music, and she had a friend who said, "Hey, she's a drummer, get her into some lessons." And next thing I know, that's what I just fell in love with was drums. There's nothing like being the groove and the heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
You make everybody dance.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also control it, which, come on, I'm a Gemini. I control things. But you control like the vibe, the dynamics, like all that stuff. So
Yeah. Wait, so it was pretty much. Now, were you the person that was already like beating on everything else before she got you the drum set?
Yeah, pots and pans, the little pasta drainers, all that stuff, and then using wooden spoons. Totally. I was a kitchen drummer, all right? There, you got your living room drummers, you got your backyard drummers. I was the kitchen drummer.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, now, I heard now, and I think I saw it on your social media, but how did basketball compare to music when you first started back then?
Ooh, well, just for me, like I had a hero in Elvis Presley. I saw Elvis perform. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to sing to cute girls in poodle skirts and slick my hair back. And then I saw Michael Jordan around that same time, right? So it just was like this thing where I'm like, oh my goodness. And I started playing from a very young age. I think we started in first grade. And I played basketball and baseball every year. Never was into like volleyball or some of the other stuff, but
yeah,
I loved both basketball and baseball. And so, when Jordan switched to baseball too, I was like, that's right. Come on. That's right. But yeah, I think what it really taught me is just like when you play in a band, you're in a team. Like it is a team sport. And if you kind of approach it that way and you approach it with the same intensity and vigilance that a basketball player would, like we're going to take you to town. Like this show is going to bring you up, down, and all the way back around. And then we're going to win at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
I saw I forget what you posted it for, but there was a picture of you in the Chicago Bulls warm up.
It. Yeah.
Now, I mean, being a Bulls fan in Salt Lake City in the 90s, that couldn't have been easy right there.
You know what? I was still a fan of the Jazz too. It's like when I wasn't cheering on the Bulls, like of course you had Stockton to Malone era. And
Sure.
I was lucky that my mom's boss had tickets to one of the playoff games and he couldn't use it and gave it to us. So I got to go to one of those Jazz versus Bulls playoff games. And that's like one of the coolest things I think I've ever done. And then that picture was when I was 9, I think. I was at the All-Star game where Jordan was. So of course, and it was in Salt Lake City. I still chose the Chicago Bulls jacket. But
hey, you got. I mean, I'm biased. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I was like, does that say Jordan on your shirt? Yeah.
It does. It does. I mean, I'm the same age pretty much as you, and you can. I mean, at that point in time, you couldn't not fall in love with Jordan. Like,
For real.
mean, it's one of those things that I try to tell. I mean, I've got all the respect to LeBron,
But I try to tell LeBron fans, I'm like, you just don't get it. Just like I don't get your fandom of LeBron. I'm just like, it was different. If you saw the way he played, the intensity that he had, I mean, it was, I mean,
the other players on the team too. Like you got to shout out Scottie Pippen, you got to shout out Rodman, like the rest of the crew. It just was a thing. And I definitely grew up loving Jordan. I played basketball. I had a pair of Jordans when I was younger. And I still wear Jordans on stage. And that's kind of part of my MO. I like to wear a bolo tie and some Jordans and rock my SG guitar.
Nice. Now, is it normally what AJs are you rocking on stage?
Usually the mids or the highs. I like the high tops. Yeah. So, and I always like to go bold colors because come on.
Like the classic ones.
Well, I don't know if they're. Yeah, I guess they're ones. Yeah. I mean, I'm not as nerd about that. I just found the ones that I love, and I tend to replace them when I wear them out. And
I've got them on right now.
There you go.
Yes. I can't.
The low top.
Can't go without. Well, now, I mean, you mentioned the Elvis fandom.
Yep.
When you started playing drums, how did that sort of play in? Because obviously Elvis wasn't a drummer. How did you did you still imagine yourself as the front person even though you were playing the drums?
Absolutely. Yes. So I naturally could just drum and sing at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would just play along to records and sing. I played a lot to the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. And so that kind of got me into rapping and drumming. And then, I started to learn more about female drummers. It came a little bit later. I wish it had come sooner. But my top drummer of all time is Nikki Glaspie. And she's in an incredible band called the Nth Power. And she also played with Beyonce for some years and played in Dumpsta Funk and just talk about power and finesse and just the groove, never losing it. So yeah, I mean, I still am inspired by drummers, punk drummers. I love metal drummers. Drumming is my thing. But out of necessity, playing by yourself and singing and playing drums, that just we weren't doing backing tracks back then, right? So I got a guitar about the age of 16 and started to play and learn songs and sing. And then it was over from there, found Janis Joplin and learned Bobby McGee. And it was we're done. Let's go.
Well, I mean, talking about Blood Sugar Sex Magic, I've talked about it a lot actually on the show before because it's just, I mean.
Ooh, it's an unreal album.
Such a good album. And then, I mean, drummers, Chad Smith, man, that guy is impressive.
Yeah. But also I love that he's not flashy. It's pocket and groove and the fills make you feel he never gets lost.
It's all well, I mean, you think about it, he's this weird drummer in the fact that he's got it's not just the normal band of hey, you're always going to be syncopated with the bass player. No, he's syncopating with the lyrics part of the time, with the guitarist, with John Frusciante half of the time. It's crazy. I mean, I always bring up Red Hot Chili Peppers because they do that thing where without one part, they're not the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And and even when John Frusciante left the band, then it changed. And it was a different, complete sound when, you had Dave Navarro in the band or when you had Josh in the band.
Yep.
And, I mean, I like both. Honestly, let's be honest. I like the John Frusciante the best. But, I mean, the others have this interesting switch because they play so unified when they do it. And it just, it's a great thing to learn on. And again, I was right there with you. That Blood Sugar Sex Magic was one of my absolute favorites growing up.
Yeah.
Well, now, so you started guitar around 16. Was it sort of a slow mutation of all instruments, or was it a fast okay, well, I gotta learn this now?
No, I mean I never stopped playing the drums. Like I still play drums. I practice them. It's constant. Guitar though just became the thing that I did on stages a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And probably about I want to say maybe 15, 16 years ago I started playing electric like full time. And then I stopped. I was like, no, I'm not playing acoustic ever again, and just went and didn't look back and fell in love with the electric guitar and what that could do. And I do tour in a one-woman band. I do, play synthesizers in that band, drum machine, guitar, sing, layer my vocals on top of each other. And that's so much fun. So I'm lucky that I want people to know this. It's easy to learn music, period. It really is. I've taught kids in less than one day how to play, and it's really cool to see this transformation happen. And once you learn one instrument, it is so much easier to pick up other instruments because you have the knowledge, you're using your ears. Like your most important thing is feel and your hearing. So I want people to know, like, you could also be a multi-instrumentalist.
Did that sort of idea sort of mutate as you went, as far as like you using multiple instruments and being like, oh, well, I can add this in. Oh, I can do this too.
Yep, totally. I mean, I started out with a cajon drum and an acoustic guitar and looping that, and then realized there's way too many feedback issues in that world. And then I decided to go a little more electronic, and I played a friend's microKORG synth. It's a digital synth, but that thing has some dope bass sounds and really cool atmospheric synths. And so I just got into laying that down and started using a drum machine because you don't have feedback issues with that. And and just it's developed throughout the years, and kind of depending on where I'm or who I'm opening up for, that's the type of show I'm going to lean into. If it's more Americana, or if I'm doing a hip hop show, I'm going to lean more that way. Or if I'm doing something that's reggae, I'm going to lean more that way. So it's kind of out of necessity. I do play in a band. I love my band. We've been together 10 years, and just they are on the last 3 records that I made. But yeah, out of necessity in this world of like streaming not paying so much, touring is insanely expensive. Hotels, outrageous. It just became this thing where it's like, well, we could do it with just 2 people and we can play all these huge stages and festivals. And so that's been my journey the last 10 years, is really doing this.
Well, when did you, I was going to ask, like, I mean, it seems like as much as you loved music, you had to be pretty young when you made the decision, like, I'm going to do this full time. This is what I do.
Yeah, I was probably mid-20s. I was working up a ski resort, and I was working at a REI at the same time. And then I was playing gigs till 1 o'clock in the morning and staying up till 3 and 4 and having to get up at 8. And I dropped the REI gig, which I worked there for 8 years. So that was kind of a big deal for me. And then I finally dropped the Altoona ski resort gig because I was like, okay, let's go. So I've been doing it full time. I want to say at least 11 years or so. Nice.
Yeah. Well, REI still did work. I mean, from what I can tell, as far as like social media, it did work with a lot of what you love to do.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in nature, and I still that's where I write music. That's where I feel like everything. It's where I deal with my mental health, is outside.
Nice.
Not near these computers.
I saw a it was a while back. I can't remember exactly when it was, but you went out to one of the national redwood forests, and oof.
Yes. Yeah, we just filmed our last music video out there we filmed in the Muir Woods in Northern California.
The best.
And just like so good. We also, I can't remember the name, but somewhere outside of Santa Cruz, and it was just incredible. Like that's why I love traveling and touring, playing music, is it gets us out of Salt Lake City, Utah, where we're based, and into we played Florida 2 years ago. We were down in the swamps and doing the springs down there.
So those are nice.
So cool. Like one of the coolest experiences of my life, really. And so I'm just grateful that I get to play original music and tour the United States, meet good people everywhere I go.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, Muir Woods was actually the first redwoods that I saw. And it's one of those things, you go in there and it's just it's so quiet. Like, I mean, even when other people are coming in, everybody sort of stops talking when they come in. And like, it's just, I tell people it's like, it feels like some kind of like religious building, like you're going into a chapel or a synagogue or something, like,
yep.
And it's just,
totally.
I mean, it blows you away to think, man, these trees have been here for 3,000 years and are over 300 feet tall. Like, it's
and there's no way you could wrap your arms around them.
Yeah.
They're just huge.
Yeah, but I did
it's beautiful.
It is crazy. I felt like every single one I just wanted to sort of like tap on and be like, thanks, buddy. Just like, it's just like everyone, I just wanted to be like, yes. Yeah, like it's amazing place. And the springs, like you said, every time I go to one of the springs and look at how blue the water is in the middle of like this, black swamp that you're just like, where did this come? How is this? This looks like a trick. What is this? Like,
it's magic.
It is. It's wild. Yeah. Well, now I heard once you started doing solo shows, one of the places that you did a pretty solid amount of shows, the old Pat's Barbecue.
Oh yes, yeah.
Pretty That's big regular there.
Well, for the first, I'd say 2 years of my playing music out, I just played an open mic there, and then I started playing every single Wednesday, and they're like, do you want to play Tuesday? I'm like, sure. So, I mean, I got free food, I was playing for tips, and really that's just like where I got my chops to make a joke about it, double pun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really a cool spot, and like, shout out to Pat's because they gave a lot of us unknown artists a chance, and they're keeping the blues alive, and that is where I got my start, was playing blues and doing blues jams. And there's nothing like learning that easy progression and applying it to every single key. Like, you got a million songs right there, and just like something with that music resonated with me deeply. And so, yeah, Pat's was where I got my start.
Ooh, my gosh, that food there seems dangerous, though. I mean, like, that looks too good.
It is real good. Like, the ribs were my favorite. I'm a classic. I love just the ribs, but he'd always do burnt ends on Friday. There'd be a line wrapped around the building. Like, yeah. Salt Lake City, you're like, what, barbecue? Really? Mormons? Like, this guy's not Mormon. He knows how to make barbecue, and he's brought some goods. Yeah.
I saw the meatloaf, too. The meatloaf looked amazing. I was like, what?
Dangerous. That's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, man. I mean, he's been doing it for a while too. Like, I mean, I always give props to, like, I mean, it's a little bit like the music industry. Whenever I see a chef or like a pit master like that, just, giving it their all for that many years. Not like, I mean, it's impressive putting your time in like that. And it's obvious, like you said, he's got a love of food, he's got a love of music. And that's two ththings I really back up too.
Same. And those places are rare, so I feel like we got to really like support when we have them, because the best barbecue I've had in my life was probably St. Louis, and we went to Arthur Bryant's, and that's been there 100 and some odd years, and it's the best food I've ever had. And that is another reason why I love touring. Come on, food coming down to the South, like New Orleans, hands down one of my favorite food cities, just one of my favorite cities, period. But
so dynamic, so crazy,
good times.
Well, now your first album with Marinade came back. It came out in 2012, and I was thinking about this because of like the way you're releasing this new album. I'm guessing the music industry seems like a different world since you released that first album.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that was total. I've always been DIY. I've always self-released and done all that. But that was the first record I made with my current producer, and his name is Mike Sassage, and we have worked together on 6 records. He's a gem here in Salt Lake City. He's got an incredible studio, incredible ear. He's got great ideas, and we collaborate and just make my favorite music, mine.
Nice.
I don't want to say it like that, but it's really cool when you can come up with these ideas out of nowhere and make them real and tangible. So yeah, Marinade was my first band. I was the drummer, lead singer of that band. So the drum set was always front and center. And we played together 8 years. And it was, we played anywhere from 5 to 7 times a week. Like, it was crazy how much we played in the beginning. We toured the Mountain West. We toured Colorado, Idaho, Utah. And it was some of the best times of my life. But, I was much younger back then. The 5 of us would sleep in the same hotel room. You're driving in a van with a trailer full of gear and you're stuck in snow and you played till 2 a.m. and you got to get up and drive to another snow-filled city. But it's just some of the best times of my life. And those guys are still family to me. They're my brothers for life. So
nice.
Yeah.
What as far as, I obviously you were new back then. Everything was sort of new.
Yeah.
How have you seen like streaming change things since then?
Oh, just like you're not making money off your music, period. Like, you're not making money off the music. We used to sell and move thousands of CDs each year.
Yeah.
I used to order CDs and people would freak out and want you to sign it, and they'd be, oh, this is the only CD I had in my car and I listened to it for 2 days or for 2 weeks straight. I would hear that all the time. And so it's just like that tangible fan and band interaction just like stopped happening, right? And it was just, you just saw it. Just like, I can't even remember. That was one of the last. I did do CDs from 2 of my albums that I released as Talia Keys.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, I'm never printing CDs again. And I started giving them away for free. So I would put them in my guitar case and I would just write free. And because back then it cost like $1.50 to make them, so you look at it as an investment.
Yeah.
But people would feel bad for you, and they'd put $20 in the jar. And so it's like when I was trying to sell them for $5, I couldn't sell them. But as soon as you put them as free, people were like, "Hey, I have a CD player," and then they feel bad and they give you $20. So. But yeah, I self-released my first vinyl record for my album called We're Here. You have to look up Talia Keys and the Love. That's the name of my band. But yeah, I self-released vinyl on that. That was a huge investment. I had to borrow money and do all this. And
how many pressings did you do when you did that one?
Yeah, we had to do 500 to make it worth per album.
Right.
And I didn't have that money. So I had to go to my people and ask for loans. Everything did get paid back. And it's been a great form. Like, people buy it, I sign it. So it's brought back that fan to band interaction.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, well, I can never afford that again. And I just had resigned to giving up on that. Just like, nope, we got to play with the devil. We got to do the streaming thing. But then I met my record label, Midtopia, and they just are about to change the game, which is really cool. And they have this new initiative called Buy Before You Stream.
Yeah.
And they're giving us artists on the label a loan to get all our vinyl pressed like, that's huge. All those overhead costs just taken care of. And then we get to sell those vinyl records for the rest till they're gone. But streaming doesn't come out until a month after the vinyl comes out.
Right.
So it's giving our fans that chance to have an exclusive listen. They get this tangible piece of art in their hands. And I'm just stoked about it. Like, because I really had given up on doing this physical thing that does actually mean a lot to us artists, and it means a lot to the fans. So yeah, thanks to Midtopia.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you mentioned, you've mentioned before. I've seen you mention it. That I don't think a lot of fans think about it. The stream, you basically get nothing for.
Yeah.
Even if the person streams the whole album, cool. You streamed it. Thanks for the support. Thanks for wanting to listen to music. But like, nothing goes into your pocket to make more music. Whereas if they're getting the vinyl, you get all of it. So
like, so we're doing I got a 7-inch 45, 2 songs. It's a single. It's $10. That is worth for me to make $10 from streaming services, about 35 to 5,000 streams. So, I mean, like, that's 5,000 people have to listen to your song one time and you make $10.
Yeah.
So one person picking up that $10 vinyl is paying me that $10. And it's just, I think that fair pay is a huge thing. We absolutely deserve at least a penny per stream. Yeah. A penny would be amazing, because currently they pay 0.004 or, around there. And the other crazy thing that people don't even know this year, if you do not stream, your songs don't stream more than 1,000 times in a year span, you don't make any money off of it whatsoever.
Wow.
So say, like, my old records, they're not going to get too many streams, right? Yeah. I'm not going to see that. I'm not going to see a single cent off of, if I get 999 streams, I don't get paid anything. And it's crazy. These are billionaires running these companies. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, the wild thing about streaming is just the fact that, like, I think the agreements that came out. One, before I say that, is you think it's sort of even across the board as far as the streaming services? Do you see the same problem? I mean, Apple, Spotify. Tidal, whatever.
Some are way worse than others. Like Pandora's at the worst. I think YouTube's pretty bad. Apple's better than Spotify. Okay. Spotify's in the bottom. Like, Tidal actually pays better. The best way if you want to stream is use Bandcamp. That's going to give the artist money right away. Yeah. So, I mean, it's across the board. It's a problem. It's an issue. Like, we need more artists to speak out about it. But instead of, like, just demonizing these giant companies that are not going to listen to us, we want to remind people, hey, are you a fan? Why don't you check out this cool new music, And our tours are funded by T-shirts, right? Our next record is funded by baseball caps and koozies and stickers. And so really it is, like, people powered. And I think we're trying to take back that, power and give it to our fans.
Well, and it puts less. I mean, like, when listeners think about it, if they buy the music, it puts less stress on the artist of having to go tour. And if they don't have to go tour as much, then they can write better music. Because I mean,
be with their families and not break their bodies. Like, touring is the coolest thing I do in my life, but it's also the hardest thing I do in my life. And there's a big mental health thing with musicians, and you see it, like, throughout the years. A lot of our heroes died prematurely and had addiction issues and problems, and we're just finally starting to talk about that aspect of it. But I think for us artists, like, we're doing all this effort. Like, I spent 15 plus days in the studio. I produced it. I got the strings section to play on it. I have my band. I wrote the songs. We're putting all this effort into something. And just for a fan to say, you know what, I believe in that effort. I don't even own a record player, but I'm going to buy this because I want to hang it on my wall. Like, that sort of stuff just means more than we can even express. And it's like mental health. It also tells us, hey, we want to see you keep going. Like, your music matters. And so big thanks to everybody that gets that.
I would say too, like, I mean, that's the thing, like, when you talk about touring, super fun, but like you said, the ability to, like, I mean, you're constantly changing your routine. Every single day is a different routine, and the physiology of bodies go off of routines. We thrive off of routines. And when you are in a different space, and then the thing is like, the killer thing to me, and I think anybody can sort of relate to this, that's not, not a performer. If you do something in front of a crowd, that energy that you have after you get finished with that crowd, it doesn't just go away. You don't just get off of stage and go, okay, time to go to sleep. Like,
no, not at all.
and that's the thing. You're constantly doing that. There's these highs and lows of, okay, and then, like, not getting the sleep. It's just, it's if you're doing that for a couple months out of the year, That's a lot. Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle. It can be, it really can be. Like we did a couple years, we did 90 days on the road. So 3 different 30-day tours. And that's also the thing I learned, that 30 days is my cap. I don't want to do more than that. I'd prefer to do 3-week tours really. But the main thing for us is that, okay, we're going to invest in, say we're going to stay in an Airbnb instead of a crappy motel.
Yeah.
It has a kitchen. We can cook our own food. We can ask for a late checkout. It's got parking, all these sorts of things. So we've kind of learned in these later years how to tour better, tour smarter. We listen to podcasts that keep us awake. We don't drive more than 8 hours a day. But these are all luxuries. Like when I was in my 20s, we were driving 14 hours through the night to get to our gig in Austin, Texas, just to have the check bounce the next day. You know what I mean? So like we've been doing this a long time, and you learn how to do it to make it sustainable and to make it worth something. And like you said, that energy you get from the crowd, there's nothing like it. It's the highest of high, and I hope that I give that back to them. And there's just no way, like my brain won't shut off. I have what I call white noise in my ears for at least 3 hours after a show. And so I've learned, I am from a state that has medical cannabis. I've learned how to help myself with my depression and my chronic pain and all that. So I'm lucky that I've learned in these old years how to do it better.
I thinking about that, I know I saw a list of the people that you've toured with, and you Andy Frasco stuck out on there, and when you were saying tour, like that dude, some of those years that he has toured, he'll do like 300 shows. I mean, he's cut it down now that he has the podcast and like other things. He hasn't toured as much, but like it used to be just like, I remember the first time I had him on the show, that was like, I don't know, I think 2017 or 18.
Yeah.
And he had done literally 220 shows that year.
Yeah, no, that's wild.
And just like, and talk about the highs and lows. That dude has some highs and lows, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, you'd have to. You're working that hard. And, I've known Andy for a long time. We crossed paths here in Utah. We also crossed paths in Paris, France, and played some stuff there and like random stuff. And shout out to his band. They are hard-working people. Like, they're the ones, too, like, giving their bodies and giving everything. And, like, I also want to shout out touring with all these artists. I've learned that the crew is the hardest working people, hands down, and they don't get enough credit. They don't get paid enough, and they don't sleep nearly, like they're first at the venue and last to leave. And so, yeah, if you love an artist, go support their tour. That is still the number one way for us to make money, is playing out for you fine folks. And when you go, get a t-shirt, grab a record, grab a baseball hat, something. Because it really does help sustain us to keep going.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the newest album.
Awesome.
With the new album, are you one of those artists that it's like all in one setting, as far as like, okay, I'm writing all the songs of the album, or are you the person that it's bits and pieces, and then all of a sudden you notice like, oh, I've got an album, I think it's time to lay this thing down?
Yeah, number 2 by far. Like some of these songs off the newest record, one of them's really old, and I just never thought I would record it, but it's more, poignant for the times. Then one of them I had written probably a month before I went in to do tracking with my band. But yeah, it does. It's finally felt like, okay, this is cohesive. I'm going to tell a whole story. I had decided I'm not going to care about doing just singles anymore. Like I want to do a record and have it be like a whole thing. And so, yeah, this one just came together. Some of the songs were written during the pandemic. We were making music from this room and only this room to Facebook and Twitch for 15 months. Like, so I mean, that was wild times. But yeah, like, so definitely these are songs like about loss, love, heartbreak. It's also about staying like burning bright. It's about fighting. It's about standing up for yourself. So I want people to go on the journey with me, and I'm excited that We laid it down. The band did all the tracking in 2 days.
Wow.
So we play live together. But then I go put the producer hat on with Mike, and my wife Milan also helps us produce it. And we bring in the different elements like the string section, the backup vocals. If we want to do something crazy, noise effects, we'll ask the keyboardist to do something. He sends it over. So it's taken me about a year to get the record done. And that boils down to funds, like something like this could have been done in, I would say, a week, 2 weeks, if we really could just like hunker down. But it's just took some time for us to, save up money in between sessions.
Yeah.
Get back in there. Yeah. So.
Well, now you've got, you mentioned before, you've went through so many different sort of genres. There's so many songs that you have that go into, funk and into blues and into Americana and even, into country and just all these different things. I'm guessing you're not really a person that ever thinks in, okay, what genre? What are we going into this album? Would you say they're sort of like cohesive, or does it just go across?
The only thing that's cohesive about it is that we're the ones playing it, that we're the humans that are making those noises that you're hearing. I play American music, and quite frankly, music that's inspired by Black artists. It's all, traced back to Black music. And whether it be R&B and soul, funk, reggae, right down to country, so I just think that it's just this American music. If you think about the music of America, it's from all over the world, and it's come together, and you get this awesome mix of everything. And I've always been inspired by artists that do that kind of blend and blur the lines, and you're going to hear a little bit of this and a whole lot of that. And so this one is, I'm excited for this one.
Well, I think if artists are being true, I would say, for most artists, I would say, that you do meet that person every now and then, that artist that just truly loves that one thing. And they totally. That's what they do, and they're not interested in it. But I feel like the majority of us, it's just, we love all kinds of different music. Like, If I'm gonna make music, it's gonna be like you said, it's gonna be funk, rap, rock, country, R&B, everything sort of blended together. Well, how excited are you for the old album release party there on 4/19?
4/19, we got a day, all right? Let's say that. We're excited about it. It's at my hometown Throwdown. I've played this theater many times. It's called the State Room. It's a locally owned, incredible room that used to be an old movie children's theater. So it's got this vibe, they got velvet red curtains. And I just love to get together. This is the first time the band will be fully together playing this music live since we recorded it. We've done some songs at shows here and there, but we're going to play the record from start to finish. And then we're going to work backwards through our catalog. I'm going to play songs that I just released last year, play songs off my record called Lessons, and off my record called We're Here. Nice. So that's kind of fun too. But we have a string section. My producer Mike is going to be playing with us, which he normally doesn't, but he did a lot of cool guitar stuff. I'm just really stoked to get with my people and present it to our fans.
So you're gonna have the string section there for the release party.
Yes, yeah. We had to hire out some different ones of the ones we used on the record.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited for that.
How many strings? How many people are gonna be there?
Cello and violin.
Okay.
So just two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, I was like, man, it's going to get crazy. You've got 15 over there going.
That's going to happen one day. Yeah, for sure.
Well, now, along with the album release party, this will probably be old news for the listeners because we are recording it. But along with the album release party, you have an amazing opportunity this weekend. You're going to be performing at the Bernie Sanders Fight the Oligarchy rally.
Yes.
Whoa. That is awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I was a big Bernie supporter, big Bernie fan from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I've been a political artist my entire career, which has cost me fans, cost me gigs. I've had death threats, all the things. And being a visibly queer woman, non-binary woman, So for me, this is just like one of those things where it's like, what you've been doing matters. And I think that standing up right now is so important for just humans. I like to remind people, let's go back to Mr. Rogers and Sesame Street and just like, remember when we were fellow neighbors and fellow humans, and what made us different is what made us special. It wasn't a thing to fight each other about. So yeah, I just feel so completely honored that I get to open up. I'm kicking off the whole thing. AOC is also going to be speaking. Yeah. So yeah, for me, this is one of those career stamps that just, I'm sad we have to do it. I'm sad that they're doing this, but you know what? At least they're doing it. They're out there, because I feel a lot of us feel pretty hopeless right now, and it'll just be nice to be around like-minded people.
It should be a great concert. I mean, that'll be inspiring, like you said. That'll be fun. It'll be a really a good time. And I mean, seeing all of the rallies he's had so far, I'm guessing you're going to have a pretty huge crowd.
Woo! I can't think about it.
It's the ones that I've been seeing, they've all been multiple thousand. So
yes. Well, we just had, the protest last Saturday at the Capitol here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and they drew about 15,000 people to the Capitol. Ooh. And they marched down the streets, and like, it shows you in this red state, very, very conservative. Utah's about 75% Mormon and 25% not. So you would think, no, there wouldn't be that great of a turnout. No, 15K showed up. And I know there was people that couldn't make it that wanted to be there. So that's pretty big.
I think a lot of people have realized they don't want a king. No,
that's not what we vote for.
That. I mean, regardless of what where you stand on issues, nobody in America wants a king. We left England. A bunch of people left England because of that. It's part of my ancestors came from England and Ireland and whatnot, and Germany and Italy. So yeah, I mean, it's just like, nah, we didn't do this. And forward, like, we do not stand for Nazis. We do not stand for racism. Like, Black lives still matter. Like, there is so many things that we should be moving forward. Like, I always like to say, think about the Jetsons, yo. They were like having flying cars, living the good life. Here we are fighting amongst ourselves. Meanwhile, billionaires are raking it in. So open up our eyes, y'all. We the people have the power. We always have had the power, and we need to stand up. Well, now, last thing, after you release the album, you're going to release the album 4/19, and then about a month later or so, the streaming will be opened. So are you looking to try to sort of create a tour off of this album, or are you just gonna what's sort of the performance side looking for the rest of the year?
Yeah, we're playing some great festivals actually hitting the Midwest. We're going to where our label's based out of Wichita. We're playing Somewhere Fest in June 14th. A lot of great bands on that lineup I'm excited about. And then we're going to be heading out to Kansas City to play a festival called Crossroads Music Festival. Nice. And then we are working on a tour. Yes, we've got some things that we just submitted for and things we're working on. So, fingers crossed we get these dates that we're trying to book, because we are trying to book Intermountain areas where I live, the Mountain West, and a southern tour down to Florida is in the works. So yeah, I got to play with Willie Nelson's son, Lucas Nelson. Right. He was the artist that I toured the most with. Shout out to them, huge opportunity. And we played all over Florida together, and it was amazing. Like, that's what brought me all the way out there from Salt Lake. And I just get that type of opportunity with Lucas, and he's an incredible songwriter. I wrote some of these songs after that tour that are on this record. So life-changing and inspiring stuff. And I hope to hit these markets again, because we had so much fun out there.
Yeah, real quick, was there any chance of meeting Willie in that?
No, Lucas actually had to fly in between two of our Florida shows to go induct Willie into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Minor thing.
No big deal.
Thing.
He just had to leave between. I'm like, we're just hanging out at the beach in Florida, and this guy's flying up to New York City, and it just was so cool just to be around that and to witness one of our greatest songwriters of our time, Lucas. Like, he holds his own. He's an incredible artist, and then his band were just like next level. So
yeah. I've heard really nice things about him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's genuine, just really warm human being. So,
well, hopefully you get to play with him again. Maybe you can.
Yeah, we did last summer in Salt Lake. We actually got to open up at a big amphitheater for him here. So
nice.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
cool. I made lifelong friends in the industry because of these people, and they, I think, helped us get this label that we're working with. And after 15 years of doing this fully DIY, I, for the first time in my career, have a team. And I just want to tell any young artists out there, keep going. Keep going.
It's always good to have a team.
Yeah.
Always. The little bit of support goes a long way.
So much support. It goes a long way. So, yeah, I'm lucky.
Well, we are up against the break, but I want to thank you for taking the time to come on and talk with us today.
Yeah, thank you. It's been awesome. You've been asking fresh questions, which is always nice. So appreciate that.
For sure. Listeners, make sure you buy the album. It's coming out $4.19 on vinyl. Right now, we're going to take a little trip back. We're going to go back to last year. We're going to take a listen to Need You to Care right now on the Doc G Show.
And we are back here on the Doc G Show. Talia Keys, my goodness, new album out, fantastic. Mike, I recorded obviously the interview early, so I didn't realize this, but there you go. She also just got a cat, so she's getting health benefits out the wazoo with that cat. There you go.
Yeah, there she is.
Just health and physical benefits. She probably read the Good Housekeeping article, would be my guess, and was like,
Most
know
likely.
what? I need this cat. I need this cat in my life, But I will go back to Mike. I mean, man, I'll tell you, there's 20,000 people jamming. That's got to be, that's daunting. I feel like you got to, like a big step too. Like, I mean, imagine that in stand-up, Mike. You go from like your normal sort of club atmosphere. You got like 30, 40, 50 people in there. And then and then all of a sudden your next gig is Madison Square Garden. That's a lot.
I mean, I went from like
with Joe Kim.
You know what? Well, no. When I opened for Bo Burnham the first time, that was pretty wild.
Yeah. But
I was still working in a proper comedy club on Fridays and Saturdays. So it was 3 steps up, but it wasn't like 20,000 people. Yeah, that's massive.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. There are very few comedians that actually get to 20,000. Anyways, they want to do 20,000 because they just realize, like,
it's.
I mean, honestly, like most of them can't make it funny. Like no offense to them, but it's so hard to play to that room. Like,
it's not them. It's
because like that was. I mean, that to me, and again, I'm no expert, but to me that was one of the most impressive things about Dane Cook. Like when he did that Madison Square Garden show and he did the Boston Garden show, like to be able to make that giant room still feel like a comedy club, that's some impressive stuff right there. To have a big enough personality to just sort of fill that whole room,
Yeah, and that's what it was, man. He had that personality. He was a big character.
Yeah, I'll say that's why Bert Kreischer can do those huge shows too. Because he's got such a giant personality. Starts taking his shirt off and starts getting ridiculous. Saw him running a 5K with Jelly Roll just yesterday. I came across, well, Jelly Roll's lost like 175 pounds or something crazy like that. He's lost a ton of weight. Now, Bert doesn't seem to be losing a ton of weight.
What?
No offense to Bert, but it didn't seem the same,
Yeah, it seems like he has a hard time with those challenges.
But he does not have a self-image problem. He loves his body the way it is. Yeah. So that's good. But regardless,
some comics around here are starting to take off their shirts.
Yeah,
it's
weird. There's another dude. I don't know if you've seen it. Like his whole shtick is that he's a hillbilly comic. He wears jean shorts and he never wears a shirt. But he's sort of like ripped. He's also like he has red hair, so I think he like calls himself something Ginger or something. But
I don't know.
I saw some of his stand-up, though, and that was the thing, is he just wasn't wearing a shirt, and I was just like, is that what we're doing now? We just rip off our shirts?
That's the new thing, yeah.
I was like, it seems, I mean, I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah, we got really sidetracked. Listeners, if you've got the time, make sure you order Talia's new album. And if you're in the Salt Lake City area, she's going to have several shows coming your way, so make sure you get out there. Or if you're in the Wichita area, also, Mike, fun fact, what is Wichita the home of? What fast food place? There we go. Nicely done, Mike. Nicely done. Way to go. Yes, if you're in the Wichita area, she's got a show coming your way as well. But, Mike, we need to move on to the fastest growing segment in the world.
Mike C, top 3.
Mike, I forgot in the middle of the week, because it was a hectic week, what our top 3 was. I was like, I don't think we had a top 3. And then you reminded me, and I was like, oh, yeah. And I had plenty in the tank for this one, so there was no problem. Mike, I've got several honorable mentions. Do you?
I have a couple.
Okay, Mike, here's the thing. I'll go ahead and lay my guidelines down for the bulk majority of these. It was a full game that I sort of I accredited a full person's game of amazingness to the moments. But there is sort of a critical point in each one of the games. And also, I only counted ones that I was alive and watching. That's it. Because trust me, there are plenty of moments before 1991 that I wanted to include, but I was like, I didn't actually see these, and I wasn't witnessing it live on television, so I'm not going to count it. So all of mine, I was watching at that very moment it happened, and it struck the tip of my and made me jump up in excitement when it happened. Mike, my first one, Game 3 of the 2007 Western Conference semifinals, Jazz versus Golden State. This is just a moment, and the moment was Baron Davis dunking on Andre Karolinko. Oh my God, it was electric, Mike. That was literally one of the best in-game dunks I have ever seen. I was half asleep watching that game. I mean, like I was into it, but I wasn't really like, oh my God, this is crazy. And then he dunked that, and I literally jumped off of my couch and audibly went, holy and the crowd goes bananas, man. And I mean, Baron Davis isn't a big dude. He's like, I don't know, 6'3" or something like that. It is crazy, Mike. It is. And then they went on to win it. It was the We Believe Golden State Warriors, and just whoo, Mike, that was a good one. All right, Mike. Hit me with one of your honorable mentions there.
Honorable mention. Which one do I want to do? Okay, so this was maybe one game or two games when it was the Heat versus Spurs finals.
Right.
I guess it was finals. Mm-hmm. Wasn't playoff.
But I mean, that's still the playoffs. Finals count. I have plenty of finals.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess. I do too. Yeah. All right. Anyways, so the Spurs passing during when they won that series, when the Spurs won the series against the Heat in the finals, 2013, the passing was incredible.
Oh yeah.
Also, the Spurs passing was incredible. Also, watching LeBron just get seemingly
worked,
shut down by Kawhi Leonard. Was incredible to watch.
I remember eating wings to that game. I was at a wing place, and you're right, man. Kawhi was just he earned the name the Glove. I was like, look at this dude with his cornrows and his no expression, just dominating. I remember he completely just blocked. It wasn't LeBron, but it was somebody came in for a dunk. He just stuffed it right back in their face and then went down the court and dunked it himself. Zero emotion. No response. And I was just
that was incredible, man.
It's crazy.
That was an incredible series to watch.
It definitely was. Mike, my next honorable mention, Game 1 of the 2001 NBA Finals. Allen Iverson, 48 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. He hits the shot over Tyronn Lue and then steps over him. Just an iconic moment, a David versus Goliath moment that you're like, holy crap, this dude is 6 feet tall. Probably not even 6 feet tall, probably like 5'10" in reality. And he's beating Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Like, just insane. Man. That was the first time that I felt something for basketball again after Michael Jordan retired. That I saw that game and I was like, oh my God, I still like basketball. This is crazy. Like, for 3 years it just was dormant after Jordan left. That I was like, who cares? What's the meaning of life? I don't know. And then that happened and I was like, yes, basketball is back in my world. So, yeah. All right, Mike, what's your next one?
The next one, I am pretty sure I did actually witness this. And this was a big moment in my family's history.
Okay.
But Penny hitting the half-court buzzer beater versus the Bulls in the 1996 Eastern Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I remember watching that. And just everybody in the house just exploded. Like, it was like, what? That's incredible, because just, I don't know, half-court buzzer beaters just weren't like, I don't know. I guess maybe that was just the first one I'd ever watched. And then also it was a huge game, obviously, Orlando.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's it.
Now, wait, are you saying this is the one series that they won or where they lost?
They lost, obviously, I think.
96, I was about to say, because if we're talking 96 series, then they lost. And if it's 96, then it was they got swept. But the buzzer beater could have been at halftime. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was, it was like a halftime buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Anyways.
Now, Orlando lore, man. It's like we talked about. Penny, it's always what could have been, man. Just such an amazing player. What could have been.
Yeah. He was incredible.
My next honorable mention, Mike, Game 6 of the 2021 NBA Finals. Giannis scores 50 points, 14 rebounds, 4 blocks, 17 of 19 from the foul line. Just would not be denied. That game, that won Giannis over for me by far. I was like, this guy has a motor that won't stop. Nobody cares more than him in the NBA. It is obvious he is going off of pure will. It's not his ability. Yes, he's 6'11". Yes, he's a freak of nature. But he is just like, no, I'm not going to stop. My heart's going to literally have to explode before I lose this game. It was just super impressive, man. Super impressive.
I did see that on, I was kind of looking up, playoff moments, and I saw that, and I was like, man, I kind of want to go back and just watch that highlight reel from that game.
It was. He said, fellas, get on my back. we're not losing this one. We're not going down. It was impressive. Mike, do you have any more honorable mentions?
I don't.
Okay, I got one more. Game 4 of the 2022 finals. Steph Curry, 43 points. Absolutely. That is like the Steph Curry game. Like, that was his, where all of a sudden he said, hey, all of those greats you hear about, put me in the conversation with those. I'm amazing. And he is. He's amazing. Steph Curry, man. Super impressive. Super impressive. Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Top 3, Mike. My number 3, this is what got me into basketball. This is what got me excited about basketball. This is what made me fall in love with Michael Jordan. Game 2 of the 1991 NBA Finals. It's the first real NBA memory I have. And Lakers versus Bulls. The famous switch hand layup against the Lakers. Jordan goes up with the right hand, switches over to his left hand, finishes with his left hand. In that game, 33 points, 15 for 18. At one point, he hit 13 shots in a row. 7 rebounds, 13 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. Just effing dominant. And I was like, who is this bald gentleman? I will love him for the rest of my life. And that was it. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Your number 3, Mike.
Number 3, pretty famous LeBron play, the chase down block versus Andre Iguodala.
Sure.
Cavs versus Golden State Warriors. Might have been the game changer for the whole series, which is, I'm pretty sure, well, yeah, the Cavs won that series. So
I would say it was like the figurehead. I would say, to me, and of course LeBron lovers would hate this, but I would say the Kyrie 3-point was the more substantial point.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
But, of course, it's the look of it, the actual, like, the feeling of momentum. It's still just this momentum shifter that you're just like, oh my God, that's a stop right there.
Yeah. That was a good one. That was a good stop.
Mike, my number 2, Game 5 of the 1997 finals. Jazz versus Bulls, flu game, 38 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. It was like I was talking about before, Mike. Shoot him with a effing tranquilizer dart, the guy's still going to dominate. He had a stomach virus. Mike, he basically had what you had when your child was being born and the dude scored 38 points. Is absolutely insane. I remember coming home from a birthday party, Mike, and watching that game, and I remember my mom being like, I heard he was sick, and I was like, to me, he was Superman. He was Superman. I told my mom, I was like, no, don't worry about it. He's going to win the game. He'll win this game. And he did. That's the thing with Jordan. He never let me down, ever. He was a Superman when I watched him as a kid. There was never a point that I was like, oh, he didn't come through. No, it was always he came through. The only time was losing to Orlando in 95. And I said, after he lost to Orlando in 95, he's going to come back and win it next year. And he did. And then he won it 2 more times after it. He's just phenomenal, Mike. Phenomenal.
Great shoe game, too. The flu games, of course.
Of course.
I think might be my favorite Jordans.
Red and blacks, the breads, the bread 12s, man. Super impressive. Mike, you're number 2.
Number 2, actually, hey, now that you talk about it, 95, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, Nick Anderson stealing the ball from Michael Jordan.
Letting people know that Jordan was human. He was human. That was, and again, that's the crazy part about Jordan. Is he was so unstoppable, people could not believe that happened. They were like, did he just have the ball stolen from him? You can do that to Jordan? Like, it was just like unbelievable. It was not thought of. And that's the thing. And again, what could have been? That Orlando team took it to him. Now, again, granted, they didn't have Dennis Rodman, and Jordan was still not in like full basketball shape, but like
he was 45.
But
he was number 45
in game 1. He switched back in that series to 23. That was in the Orlando series where he switched back.
Okay.
I think it was it might have been game 2, because that's the famous quote Nick Anderson said after the game. What can I say? 45 isn't what 23 was. And then he came back in 23, and they're like, oh, why'd you have to say that? Oh, no. But they still won. And super, super impressive. And, oh, my God, there were so many. I remember even in Virginia, Mike, there were so many Orlando fans because, they were the expansion team, and they had the young guys. They had O'Neal. They had Penny, and, like, everybody wanted to be crazy like them. And I was like, them. The Bulls are awesome. They're going to come back. And then the next year, I was doing cartwheels. I was like, look at how awesome they are. 72 wins, you turd burgers. But anyways, Mike, number 1, Game 6, 1998, NBA Finals, Jazz versus Bulls, Jordan's last shot, 45 points, 15 for 35, which was not great, but 1 rebound, 1 assist, 4 steals, and of course what everybody remembers, that drive to the basket, crossover, shot, hold the pose, nail it to win the game.
Yeah, push off.
No push off.
I'm joking.
No push off.
Just wanted to trigger you.
No push off. Look at the tape, Mike. Go back there and look at it. It's just like in The Last Dance when they're talking to what's his face from NBC. I forget his name, but he says it looks like a maitre d' showing someone to their table. He basically stops at a point, and Brian Russell just keeps on moving on because he was overplaying him and he was playing on his toes, and so he couldn't stop. So amazing, Mike. And then he had to come back and ruin it with the Wizards, but it's fine. He didn't ruin it. He was just having fun.
Still played really well.
Oh, that again. It shows you the amazingness of Jordan and the fact that, like, most people consider that a failure, even though he was 40 and he was scoring, averaging, 25 points. And we're like, oh, sad, and it's just it's super impressive, But, anyways, Mike, you're number 1.
Number 1, watch this live. It was amazing. Kawhi Leonard, Raptors.
Oh, yeah.
Buzzer beater.
Against Philadelphia?
Against the Philadelphia, 76ers. That was incredible.
I thought
incredible shot.
I thought that should have been in my honorable mention. I was going to put that in my honorable mention because it was pretty wild. And I mean, just the way that he hung in that squatted position.
Yep.
For I remember watching that one too live, and it was pretty bananas. It was pretty exciting. Very good, very good. Mike, fun list. What do you got for next week?
Top 3 venues you would want to perform in.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, I think we've talked about this one before.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've talked about it. I like it. Okay.
I had to run back through the list, and I was like, we did not do this, right? And we have not.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Venues, got it. Mike, we need to go on to a birthday suits. Do you want the musician or the foosball player?
Let's go musician.
Okay. Born on May 7th in Medellin, Colombia. Our birthday suit wearer is one of the most popular Latin American artists in the world. He's won 11 Billboard Latin Music Awards and 6 Latin Grammys. He was the first Latino musician to headline Coachella and Lollapalooza with songs like Mi Gente, 6 a.m., Ay Vamos. He has 65 million monthly subscribers on Spotify alone. Name that birthday suit wearer.
What's his most popular song?
I mean, he has one with Bad Bunny that I would say is his most famous. I forget the name of the top of my head.
I feel like I just want to guess on this one. Is it Pitbull?
No.
No.
He's Cuban. And he was not born in Cuba. He was born in Miami. But this guy starts with a initial, Mike. Initial and then last name.
I'll just take the L on this one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody, guys. I don't know.
J Balvin. Balvin. Yeah, man. Very, very popular. Very popular fella. I mean, as you can see, 65 million monthly subscribers. He's sort of seen Mike as the second wave of reggaeton. So, the first wave, Daddy Yankee was like the leader of the first wave of reggaeton. Then J Balvin is seen as the second wave, and then like the new wave is like the Bad Bunny wave. And so, there you go. Yeah. J Balvin turning the big 4-0, Mike. He's turning 4-0. Exciting. There you go. J Balvin. Mike, third birthday suit. Born on May 7th, 1933 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Considered one of the best NFL quarterbacks of all time. Playing from 1955 until 1973. All but 2 of his seasons were with the Baltimore Colts. He was a 3-time NFL champion, 10-time Pro Bowler, and on the NFL 100th anniversary team. His first championship in 1955 is literally called the greatest game ever played, where the Colts beat the Giants 23-17. Name that birthday suit wearer.
This is kind of guessing on this one. Is it Joe Namath?
No,
No,
not Broadway Joe. That's a little bit later, Mike.
Was he New York Jets?
He was New York Jets.
Okay.
He was New York Jets. Nice name drop. The initials J.U.
J.U.
I know you'll have heard of the name if you can't think of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Always had a flat top. He always had a flat top through his whole career. Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas.
Johnny Unitas. Yes. One of the greats, Mike. It definitely, like, all of his stats are basically overshadowed now because it's a completely different game. But, like, back in the day, he was super impressive. Like, he threw way more than any other player at the time. But now, it's such a pass-happy league that, of course, like Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes, like, all of them have just, like, exploded as far as the throwing. So, anyways, there you go. Johnny Unitas. And J Balvin, and now I'm blanking on our first. Who was our first birthday suit, Mike? Mr. Beast. Happy birthday, Mr. Beast. There we go.
Thank you, Doc G.
Okay, Mike, we need to wrap it up. I've been your host, Doc G. With me, as always, the one, the only, Mikey Maximus, the Fernicus, Charette.
Always a pleasure, Doc G. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And until next week, zip it up and zip it out.
Zippity-doo-dah.